Hello, dear students of the third prep grade, and welcome to a new episode of our program. Here we are again, and on this episode, we'll be having a general review on everything you studied during this semester with our teacher of science, Mr. Muhammad Mahmoud. Hello, Mr. Muhammad, and welcome to the program.
Hello, Yasser. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I
What
hope
about
so.
you?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Everything's fine, but today it's, there is heavy traffic.
Yes. Heavy traffic in questions or in the streets?
No, on the streets,
Yes,
I mean.
we know.
All right, Mr. Muhammad, of course, we'll be having a review, so I want everybody to start calling us from now if you've got any questions on our phone number 257-56187. All right, Mr. Muhammad, what shall we begin with?
We have some types of questions, but firstly, hello dear students, in this new episode or the second episode in the review or general review about all lessons and questions in the second term of science third prep. We have here some types of questions, as we see, give reason, what happens, problems, and all types of questions. We should have to know the key of any answer from the question. يعني نعرف مفتاح الإجابة من السؤال. As we will start with the main two difficult types of questions, as give reason for and what happens when. Then we will going through the problems in different types of problems, as genetics or physical problems in the syllabus. Let's go to start our revision today with the first type of questions as in general review. As we see here in dear students, as general review, we will start with the first type of questions, as we will start with give reason for. Number one, learn to walk in children is not considered a genetic trait. As we studied before, we have two types of traits. We have learn to walk in children is not considered as a genetic trait, as we have another type of question here as what? As what? Yes, as acquired trait. بيبقى أقول له because it considered as aquatic trait and doesn't transfer from generation to another.
All right.
Generation to another. Okay.
We've got Muhammad on the phone.
Muhammad.
Hello,
Yes.
Muhammad. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Okay, Muhammad, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
What happens when
Mm-hmm.
a chemical composition change?
Yeah.
You have a question about?
What happens when
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens when? Yes.
A
Yeah.
chemical composition changes.
in hemoglobin of the blood?
Okay. What happens when the chemical change in the hemoglobin of the blood?
Yes.
Here-
Chemical composition.
Yes, chemical composition, as we studied before in the cellular change, according to the exposure of radiation to a short period of time, but huge or short, a long period of time, but small dosage. Here, hemoglobin carries what?
Oxygen.
Yes, so we answer here, hemoglobin can't carry oxygen.
يعني مش
Hemoglobin?
هنقول genetic mutation صح؟
No, cellular mutation. We talk about هنا cellular change.
Effect.
Cellular change, not mutation. Not mutation, because we have three changes in the change of when you expose or any person exposed to
Radiation.
huge dosage, but a small dosage for a long period of time. Here we have genetic change, change in 6 chromosomes, or cellular change in a change in the cell composition as hemoglobin in blood, and we have physical change as the change in the appearance of the human. You have another question, Muhammad?
Yes.
Okay, تفضل.
The true or false?
True or false? Yes.
Most metal carbonates break into metal oxides and carbon dioxide.
Okay.
هو
metal-
نفس السؤال عشان نفس السؤال بس من دون كلمة most metal carbonates على طول.
اوكي.
ونفس السؤال مرة ثانية بس all metal carbonates ده true or false.
metal carbonate. If you look at the screen at your home, بصيت على الشاشة كده، بص أنا كالسيوم كربونات.
هو النقطة مش في دي، هي النقطة في كلمة most يعني.
No as يعني the same by heating or copper carbonate or what? Copper carbonate. They will decompose by heating and they will produce what?
Copper oxide and
or
carbon
calcium
dioxide.
oxide and what? Carbon dioxide. Here copper oxide and carbon dioxide. So any one of them will produce metal oxide plus what?
Carbon dioxide.
Plus carbon dioxide. So the answer here is true or false?
أنا بقى هي true.
True.
بس
Yes.
النقطة اللي أنا بسأل عليها لو في فرق في كلمة most لو أنا بدلتها حطيت all يعني هو
No, not the big difference here between the number 1 or number 2.
on number 3.
Yes.
طيب.
As you wish.
بس آخر سؤال، هي catalyst أما أجي أعمل لها definition مش لازم أقول it is a substance that change ولا that increase the rate of the chemical reaction.
Generally, catalysts or enzymes, as we will study in biology in first secondary, here we have catalyst, which means substance change the speed of chemical reaction. If we talk about positive catalyst, increases the speed of chemical reaction. If we talk about negative catalyst, decreases the speed of chemical reaction. As we studied before in first term, we talk about acceleration, change in the speed. Yes, we have positive acceleration and we have negative acceleration. As we have in the second term, we talk about catalyst, and catalyst we have positive catalyst and we have negative catalyst, but catalyst generally change the speed of chemical reaction. Change. Okay, Muhammad, thank you.
Okay.
You are welcome every time.
Thank you, Muhammad from Cairo.
Okay.
And we're still waiting for more calls because it's a review. So if you've got any questions, do give us a call. All right, Mr. Muhammad, let's carry on. I have a question here.
You have a question? Reasons. Okay.
Yeah, it says uranium is one of radioactive elements.
Uranium is from the radioactive element. The answer here, not from uranium. We talk about what? Radioactive element. So any radioactive element. Why? Because it carries neutrons more than normal limit in its nucleus. Any radioactive element is called radioactive element. Why? Because they carry neutrons more than normal limit in the nucleus. شايلين neutrons أكتر من من النورمال limit in the nucleus.
Okay,
yes.
And we've got another call. أمنية من الجيزة. Hello, أمنية, how are you?
Hello, how are you? ازيك يا مستر عامل ايه؟
الحمد لله تمام.
ازيك يا أمنية؟
كويس الحمد لله. ازيك يا مستر؟
الحمد
لله.
لله.
أمنية عندك أسئلة؟
كان عندي سؤالين.
اتفضلي يا أمنية.
هو في كتاب المدرسة بيقول لي compare ما بين induced and spontaneous mutation according to their way of occurrence. يعني أنا بس عايز أعرف إيه their way of occurrence.
Way of occurrence here, which means how can we or the method to make spontaneous mutation.
يعني أقول spontaneous mutation ده بيبقى surrounding environment.
Yes, according to change in what?
الناتشر بتاع according to surrounding environment.
As what?
الراديشن
X-ray, atomic radiation, yes.
Chemical substance with high or low temperature.
Excellent. And produce non-desirable traits.
Non-desirable.
On the other side, we have what?
We have induced.
Induced mutation. By what?
By human, interference of human.
Interference of human. To produce?
To produce desirable traits.
As?
Bigger fruit, much more taste.
يبقى more taste or improve the taste, improve the size and
seed, bigger seed.
Bigger, yes, size, yes, and free from seeds. As imagine with me watermelon without seeds. ماجن يعني طبعا هيبقى more more delicious. Okay, you have another question?
Mutation vary according to some factors.
Yes.
What are these factors? To discuss one of these factors. يعني ايه بقى؟
Mutation according to factors.
هو الفاكتورز دي يعني ايه؟ يعني اقول له induced او spontaneous؟
According to yes about the origin here. Origin. Yes. If we talk about factors here, we talk about origin, because if we talk about sites, we have no factors. If we talk about genetic or chromosomal, or if we talk about what, we have third.
Chromosomal أو genetic.
Yes.
أو somatic.
Somatic or.
Somatic or gametes.
Gametes or reproductive mutation
cells.
in reproductive cells. Yes, أمنية.
طب كان في عندي سؤال آخر سؤال.
اتفضلي براحتك.
بيقول لي عايز addition of hydrochloric acid to calcium hydroxide.
From pupil's book, this question, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Calcium hydroxide with hydrochloric acid. How can we solve this question? Look at the screen at your home. بصي على الشاشة كده. We have calcium hydroxide. Okay?
Okay.
Calcium hydroxide like copper hydroxide. Ca bracket OH by 2 plus 2HCl hydrochloric acid.
Yes.
Okay? Diluted. We have what chemical reaction in this question? We have what?
Chemical reaction. في alkali.
Yes.
في base.
Yes. So we have what
double
reaction?
Substitution.
Double substitution. At the same time we have neutralization. Reaction.
يعني salt and water.
Yes, we have positive, negative, positive, negative. And we put each positive with the other negative, as you see in front of you.
Yes.
So here we have Ca as a result. Here we have Ca.
هتبقى calcium chloride.
CaCl.
CaCl2 صح؟
Cl2, yes, we have 2 here.
Yes, Cl2.
Plus?
Plus H ثانية. H2O.
H2O, but we have to put 2 here because we have 4 hydrogen.
with 2 oxygen.
2 oxygen. We have here 4 hydrogen and we have 2 oxygen. So we have calcium hydroxide and we have calcium chloride. Sorry, we have calcium chloride and we have at the same time water. So we have neutralization reaction between acid and alkali forming salt and water.
I want to be asked.
You have another question, Omnia?
No, I want to be asked.
She wants to be asked. All right, I have a question for you. Can I ask you this question? All right. The ability to roll the tongue is one of the dominant traits in human beings.
Give reason?
Yes.
Because ability to roll tongue is controlled by a dominant gene. So it dominates over the non-ability to roll tongue.
We have another type of question or another type of answer, way of answer here. If you have any question, Omnia, contains dominant,
yes,
you should answer by, because it appears if the gene is a.
If the gene is one of the gene dominant
pure,
and the other recessive.
Is the gene is pure or
hybrid.
Hybrid. While recessive appears only if the gene is a.
Is pure.
Right. Try to answer any give reason by this way.
يعني أنا أقول له because in ability to roll tongue
appears if the gene is.
The gene of ability to roll tongue is the pure or hybrid.
Yes, appears.
Appears.
The
appears when the gene is pure or hybrid.
Yes. While inability to roll your tongue appears only if the gene is hybrid.
Hybrid.
Okay.
شكرا يا مستر.
العفو يا أمنية.
Thank you, Omnia. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, here we have another question. As we see here, for red precipitate is formed on adding of magnesium to copper sulfate solution. On the monitor, please. As we see here, we have red precipitate is formed on adding magnesium to copper sulfate solution. We have here question as Mg magnesium plus copper sulfate solutions CuSO4. So here we have magnesium is more active than copper in the chemical activity series, and we have what reaction here? We have simple substitution reaction, so magnesium will replace copper, forming magnesium sulfate, and produced what? Here we have copper as reddish brown or red or brownish red precipitate. We will answer by equation, but with names and color, as possible as we can to write the colors from the pupil's book. We write here magnesium, and we write here copper sulfate, between brackets blue, and we write here magnesium sulfate, magnesium sulfate plus copper, and we know copper is red PPT as red precipitate أو راسب أحمر, as we studied before in lesson 1 from unit 1. So dear students, we have another question here. We have, as we see here, by increasing the temperature, the speed of chemical reaction increase. We know how can we answer this type of questions here from the factors affecting the speed of chemical reaction, as we have here increasing what here as increasing in temperature. So we will talk about what? How can we answer this question? أقول له because the number of collisions, and we know collisions which means اصطدامات between molecules will increase, so the speed of reaction will increase. يبقى هقول له because the number of collisions between molecules will increase, so the speed of chemical reaction will increase.
All right. We've got a call.
Okay.
Okay, Aisha, how are you?
الو السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ازيك يا
ازي
عائشة؟
حضرتك يا مستر؟
ازيك
الحمد
عاملة
لله.
ايه؟
الحمد لله تمام.
اتفضلي.
كنت عايزه اسال مستر سؤال.
اتفضلي معاكي مستر محمد.
مستر كنت عايزه اسال في سؤال جه في كذا اكزامينيشن في السكول بوك.
Yes.
بيقول explain an activity that illustrates. ده ممكن يجي في الامتحان؟
Explain
No,
or illustrate.
activity no, but according to the type of question, على حسب نوع السؤال. يعني can you read the question?
ايوه مثلا بيقول effect of surface area on the rate of chemical reaction.
يبقى we can explain this question by using the مثلا nickel turning react faster than piece of nickel with مثلا hydrochloric acid. We can explain like that, but not activity as tools, steps, conclusion or observation then conclusion. No. We will answer ازاي? By factors affecting the speed of chemical reaction. Surface area, we will answer turning or iron fillings react then piece of iron with hydrochloric acid. For example, you understand me عائشة؟
نعم؟
انت فاهماني كده يا عائشة انا اقصد ايه؟
ايوه فاهم حضرتك يا مستر.
تمام، يبقى انا هشرح له ازاي from the pupil's book. As example, we will use piece of iron and we will use iron fillings. برادة حديد زي ما بيسموها بالعربي. Iron fillings will react faster with hydrochloric acid than piece of iron. Okay? You have another question?
Yes, عندي complete.
Complete, yes.
Yes, the reaction is a process involves space in reactants molecules and formation of space in products molecules.
Chemical reaction.
ايوه انا مش فاهمه السؤال.
Chemical reaction as a definition. breaking down the bones. breaking down the ايه؟ عائشة؟
ايوه مع حضرتك يا مستر.
ردي عليا. breaking down the bonds between reactants. breaking down the ايه؟
انا مش سامع حضرتك كويس.
ما انا معلي صوتي كده، انت سامعاني كده طب كويس؟
ايوه كده سامع حضرتك.
يبقى breaking down the bonds between the reactants.
ايوه.
يبقى ده اول سبيس. اوكي؟ then form a new bonds between the products.
ماشي يا مستر. اوكي.
يبقى انت شفتي السبيس الاولانيه هتجيبي فيها ايه؟
السبيس الاولانيه المفروض البريكنج بونز
between the reactants
between the reactants
and form a new bonds between
the products.
the products. yes.
معلش يا مستر كان عندي سؤال تاني.
اتفضلي.
في الايكويشنز ولما اجي اكتبها في الامتحان لما اكتب الايكويشن السيمبلز ويعني اكتب الايكويشن عادي.
yes.
بعد كده بكتب تحتيها النيم اوف اليمنت ولا مش ضروري؟
in give reason for in what happens we should answer by equation if we have equation in the question as the previous question. شفتي الكويستشن اللي انا جاوبته من شويه magnesium with copper sulfate.
ايوه.
give reason we answer with equation, balanced equation with names and color as possible as we know from the pupil's book. Okay? But if we have complete or illustrate by chemical equation, يعني يقول لي اشرح بالمعادلات بس, we write only the equation without names or colors. Okay? انما give reason what happens, we have equation, we have names, we have colors. اوكي
يا مستر الف شكر.
العفو يا عائشة.
شكرا ليكي.
You are welcome.
Thank you عائشة من الجيزة.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay. So here we have another type of question from lesson 2 in unit 2, as we can compare here between alternating current and direct current. So in give reason for, give reason, but here we have compare in form of give reason, as we see here from this question. Number 4 here, the question say alternating current is preferred than direct current. Although because
Okay, before you write the answer, we have Ahmed. Maybe he can answer this question.
Okay. Ahmed.
Hello, Ahmed. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Okay, Ahmed, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, but before you tell us about your questions, can you answer this one?
Okay.
Ahmed.
All right.
Yes.
Ahmed.
Alternating current is preferred than direct current.
Because it can be transferred from long distance and it can be converted into direct current.
تمام. كان يبقى number 1 transfer for a long distances. Number 2 what?
Can be converted into a direct current.
Convert into direct current. Direct current. And number 3
It can be used in lighting houses.
no has variable what?
Variable intensity and direction.
Intensity and direction. We have 3 points here to intensity and direction between direct and alternating current, as here we have no comparison, but we have main 3 reasons to use alternating current than direct current. Ahmed, you have...
Okay, well done, Ahmed. Now we can take your questions. Okay.
Yes.
كانت لسه البنت قبل شوية كانت بتقول what are the factors اللي هي كانت تقول mutations vary according to several factors.
Yes.
الفاكتورز دول هنقول site of occurrence والorigin والinheritance ونفصلهم.
هنا no, we have factors according to factors cause, يعني mutation we have factors، يعني عندنا حاجات بتسبب mutation اللي هي مين؟
اللي هي الناتشورال والمان ميد.
ايوه، يبقى we talk about factors the direct factors affecting the mutation or cause mutation. Okay, but if we classify mutation according to origin, according to inheritance, according to what? The third one?
origin.
Yes. يبقى we have origin, we have site, we have what? ها انا بلخبطك على فكرة.
عندنا origin و inheritance.
Yes. So we have three types. If we talk about factors, we have
two types.
Yes.
يبقى هما ال spontaneous وال
maybe the spontaneous affect the somatic cells. Maybe affect the reproductive cells. يعني فاهمني؟ Okay, you have another question?
يعني في السؤال ده هنبقى نقول spontaneous والتانية واللي هي
by what? By increasing temperature, high or low temperature, chemical reactions, X-rays, atomic rays, and so on.
طيب كان في سؤال تاني.
اتفضل.
Write the scientific term.
Write the scientific term. Yes.
The quantity of electric charge that flows through a conductor. بس ونفس السؤال تاني بس in a unit time, in a time of 1 second.
حلو قوي. يبقى we have a difference here. Quantity of electric charge passing through a conductor as in sixth primary, as we studied before, which means what?
Coulomb?
No.
Coulomb?
No. It is what? It is the electric current. Electric.
هو قال quantity of electric charge.
Passing through a conductor. شحنات بتمشي في موصل. يبقى ده تيار كهربي. يبقى electric current. But if we have quantity of electric charge passing through a conductor at or through time unit, we have what?
Current intensity?
Yes, electric current intensity, because here we have time, we have Q over T. We talk about the electric current intensity and its measuring unit is ampere. You have another question, Ahmed?
لا شكرا.
اوكي
You are
شكرا
welcome,
ليك احمد من القاهره. هو مفيش غير القاهره والجيزه بس اللي بيتابعونا ولا ايه؟ فين بقيه المحافظات؟
في اسكندريه، في سوهاج، اسلام مثلا.
اوكي.
فاكر
فين؟
اسلام مثلا.
احمد من هنا
واحمد من هنا برضو. يعني طيب. As we have many questions in this episode, as we see, we have to understand one key inside the question. يعني from the question we can pick the answer. Number 5, as we see, magnesium can replace copper in its salt solution while the opposite is impossible. يعني العكس ما يحصلش. طبعا هنا according to بصوا question اللي هو number كام؟ number هنا هو 2. بصوا number 2. Magnesium can replace copper. Yes, but copper can't replace magnesium. يعني if we remember the chemical activity series, we can answer question number 2. According to the precipitation here is red precipitate about color, about the copper, reddish brown or red or brownish red. But here we have in this question magnesium can replace copper. أقول له because what? هقول له هنا because magnesium is more active than copper in what? In chemical activity series. Next one is the stopping of body growth so the person becomes dwarf. Give reason for stopping of body growth. How can we pick the here from this body growth here?
بسملة ممكن تعرف إجابة السؤال ده.
نشوف بسملة.
Hello بسملة, how are you?
ايوه حضرتك مساء الخير. انا والدتها مش بسملة.
اهلا بحضرتك.
اهلا وسهلا بحضرتك.
اهلا بيك. انا عندي سؤالين للمستر بعد اذنك.
اتفضلي.
اول سؤال compare between induced
compare between induced
mutation and continuous mutation.
mutation and spontaneous.
mutation.
We have many questions about the two types in this episode.
Yeah.
Spontaneous mutation. Yes, we have another one.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Spontaneous. We know. Yes.
في سؤال تاني بعد إذن حضرتك.
اتفضلي.
Give reasons.
Give reason
after,
for.
Okay.
Yes.
After Chernobyl. Disaster.
Chernobyl disaster. Yes.
The radiation.
The radiations. Yes. Exists.
In food products.
Exist in food products. Yes. You have another question?
ميرسي جدا. شكرا يا مستر.
Okay. شكرا لحضرتك.
ميرسي يا فندم. شكرا. مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.
هنا عندنا two questions. Number one here about after Chernobyl disaster, the radiations exist in food products. يعني اشمعنى بعد كارثة تشيرنوبل لقوا الراديشنز exist موجودة في المنتجات الغذائية. أقول له because radiation transfer by winds and reach the soil by rains. Again, we answer this question. أقول له because radiations transfer by winds الإشعاع اتنقل بالرياح then reach the soil أو exist in the soil by rains. المطرة خليته ينزل في السويل so it exists in the food products. And here if we compare between induced mutation and
هي
spontaneous.
induced على طول معناها إن there is human intervention.
Yes. Due to interaction or interference of human. Controlled by human. So if we talk about here as induced mutation and spontaneous mutation, يلا نشوفهم كده مع بعض نكتبهم ازاي. أول حاجة induced يبقى by human interference. Okay? هنا by surrounding environment. Okay? By surrounding environment. دي number one. Number two, induced mutation produce desirable
Results.
desirable traits.
Traits.
Yes. While spontaneous produce undesirable traits. بيطلع صفات غير مرغوب فيها. Usually يعني not in all times
طب
يعني.
احنا معانا مكالمة مرغوب فيها.
طيب.
حبيبك اسلام من اسكندرية.
اسلام.
ايوه ازيك يا مستر عامل ايه؟
اهلا بيك يا اسلام.
الحمد لله تمام.
اتفضل.
انا كنت عايز اسال سؤال واتسال.
اوكي اتفضل.
ماشي. سؤال كومبليت.
Complete.
Dot use the term of dot instead of hereditary factor.
What again? Dot is used.
Use the term of dot instead of hereditary factor.
معلش مش سامع.
Instead of hereditary factor.
We use what instead of
the hereditary factor.
hereditary factors. Yes. As word or as term here we will use gene.
طيب والساينتست بقى بيستخدم الترم اوف جين مين بقى؟
Two scientists, not one. Badel and Totem in 1959.
بس هو قال لي واحد اسمه جوهانسين.
No, scientist discovered خلي بالك discovered gene.
هو قال لي use the term of dot instead of the hereditary factor.
لا برضو هنا Badel and Totem use this because the first scientists discovered the gene in 1959 هيبقى Badel and Totem and على فكرة هم take Nobel Prize about this discovery. And we have another two scientists in 1984 made the first model of DNA اللي هم مين؟
ويست واتسون وجريك.
Watson Drake. So we have 4 names of scientists in this unit. Pair and other pair. But we have 2 another names of Mendel, and we have what in unit 2 we have Henry Becquerel. Okay, ما ننساهمش الساينتست دول. You have another question اسلام؟
لا انا عايزه اتسال.
طيب قوي قوي يا سلام. ناخد سؤال لاسلام. اقرا كده الكويستشن نمبر 7 اللي قدامك على السكرين ده. اقرا كده.
Calcium oxide اللي هو hydroxide is used in several works.
Calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide. Maybe the question calcium oxide or has calcium hydroxide. اتفضل.
ماشي. Because it's used in manufacture of cement.
Yes, manufacture of cement. اللي هو صناعة الأسمنت. طيب. Question number 8. Read it.
Burning of still source of in jar filled with oxygen is faster than burning the atmosphere in atmospheric air.
Yes.
Because the concentrations of oxygen in the jar more than the concentrations of the oxygen in the air. So the speed of chemical energy is increase the concentration of the reactant.
Excellent Islam. يبقى because concentration of oxygen in jar more than in air, so the speed of chemical reaction in jar is greater than in air. شفت الإجابة بتبقى بسط يعني make your answer is complete and more simplify. خليها مبسطة وفي نفس الوقت تبقى إيه شاملة. أقول له because the percentage or concentration of oxygen in jar greater than in air, so the speed of chemical reaction in jar greater than in air. شفت كده مش اسهل برضو؟ تمام. تاخد question كمان وتبقى كده عشان ندي فرصه لغيرك. The limbs bones of some people grow continuously so they become giant.
Due to increase the secretions of growth hormone at the childhood.
Excellent Islam. I hope you get full mark in this exam and all يعني
all the people
and all in all subjects.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Thank you, Islam. Thank you very much.
So here, question number 9, as Islam said from a few seconds, we have giant person here because the growth hormone increases in from the pituitary gland. Islam نسي يقول بس كلمة pituitary gland اللي هي الغدة اللي هي بتبقى below the brain اللي هي بيسموها بالعربي الغدة النخامية. نفتكر مع بعض كان معمول عليها فيلم دي يا ياسر صح؟
Yeah, the one that is called the master gland.
Master gland اللي هو فيلم جري الوحوش كان معمول على pituitary gland دي.
Yeah, okay. Why is it called the master gland?
Master gland give reason for pituitary gland is called the master gland because it produce hormones that control the other endocrine glands. بتتحكم في كل الغدد الصماء في الجسم. يبقى control the other endocrine glands and has additional function here as control the growth by growth hormone from the pituitary gland. طبعا question number 10 just we answer this question from Yasser. Pituitary gland is called the master gland here because it produces.
I can read your mind.
Yes, you read my mind and read at the same time my laptop. Yes.
No, I didn't see it. Wallah.
I know. You read it from the back, not from the front of that. So here we have another question as what happens when heating of sodium nitrate. Here, I think Aisha asked me about. We have to write names and colors beside the chemical equation. If we or give reason. هنا بقول له sodium nitrate. هقول له 2Na. NO3 by heating produce 2Na NO2 and O2 gas evolve. طب خلاص كده اقول له لا، اقول له لازم اكتب له هنا صوديوم نايتريت لونه white and change into sodium nitrite yellowish white يعني ابيض مصفر طبعا plus oxygen gas. Next question is putting a piece of sodium in water as we studied before in first prep and in second prep and in third prep. Sodium in water, we know, and 2Na from the more preferred equation and chemical reaction in the school lab. With 2H2O, sodium in water, we know sodium react fastly with water, producing what? Producing 2NaOH, sodium hydroxide, plus hydrogen gas, burn with pop sound. طبعا بيحصل فرقعة شديدة جدا. So we should make this experiment under the supervision of our teacher. يبقى هنكتب هنا sodium لأننا هنا what happens or give reason. Plus water, sodium hydroxides, and hydrogen gas, and we know hydrogen burn with pop sounds. Okay.
But I have a question here on the sodium atom.
Sodium atom.
Yeah, it says when a sodium atom loses an electron from its outermost energy level,
Yes.
it becomes reduced or oxidized or turned into a negative ion.
Lose electron, losing electron or more.
Yeah,
So in this process we have oxidation.
yeah.
So we have what in the
It
choices?
becomes reduced or oxidized or turned into a negative ion.
يبقى هنا oxidized because we have oxidation process, which means losing of electron or more during the chemical reaction is called oxidation process. So sodium is oxidized. You have another one?
No,
Okay.
not for now.
Okay. We have another question here, dear students, as what happens when exposing a man for large dosage of radiation for a short time. هنا اتعرض لجرعة ضخمة من الإشعاع لوقت صغير. As here we have to answer man will suffer يعاني من from vertigo, diarrhea, and nausea. إرهاق وتعب وإسهال. Why؟ يبقى
غثيان بقى.
طبعا أهو غثيان.
نوسيا أو نوزيا.
غثيان.
غثيان.
يبقى due to damage in digestive system, comma, nervous system, and what? And طبعا damage in digestive system, nervous system, and in what? طبعا اللي هو السبلين. We know spleen is from the organs. الطحال طبعا اللي هو form the red blood cells من اللي بيكون.
كوما دي اللي هي الغيبوبة بقى.
الايه؟
كوما.
كوما اللي هي طبعا may lead طبعا usually lead to death in this case, and we have a movie about this case as American movie is called Submarine 57
يعني يسيبوا المذاكرة ويتفرجوا على فيلم.
لا يعني بقول ان فعلا الكيس دي كانت موجوده ان true story depends on true story about how if man exposed to large dosage of radiation for a short period of time, it has many symptoms as we see in front of you. Here we have another question, my dear students, as chemical change of gene. Chemical change of gene. خلي بالنا بيقول chemical, what happens? Chemical change of gene. يبقى هنا اقول له lead to genetic mutation. Genetic what? Mutation. يبقى lead to genetic mutation, as we have هنا to study how to know. طبعا we have chemical change of gene lead to genetic mutation. If we have any change in chromosome, we have chromosomal mutation. Heating of red mercuric oxide, we know mercuric oxide, its symbol is 2HgO. By heating هنا هوت will produce 2Hg plus O2. Here we have. So we have red mercuric oxide, and here we have mercury between brackets silver color لونه فضي عشان محدش يقول لي silver هو مش فضة. أو mercury has a silver color and oxygen. So we write the equation with names and the color as possible. Deficiency of growth hormone secretion. Deficiency يعني نقص of growth hormone secretion يبقى man will suffer from what? I think we can remember dwarfism اللي هي بيسموها القزامة. Not short. We talk about dwarfism.
يعني هي واضحة. هو عنده deficiency في الجروث هرمون
يبقى طبعا
اكيد هيحصل ايه؟
طبعا dwarfism اكيد طبعا. Next question is number 7. Deficiency of thyroxine hormone secretion. لو حصل نقص في الثيروكسين هرمون secretion, man will suffer from what? Simple goiter. Simple goiter, as we studied before, enlarged in thyroid gland and due to deficiency of iodine in food. طبعا people in coastal regions as Alexandria, مرسى مطروح, العريش, الغردقة, they didn't suffer from simple goiter because they have no deficiency of iodine, اللي هو اليود يعني iodine in food. Next one, heating of blue copper hydroxide. As we know by equation here, CuOH by 2, copper hydroxide by heating. And we know copper hydroxide, its color is blue and will change into what? We know copper will change into copper oxide, and we have H2O, so we will write here copper oxide between brackets black plus what? Plus water, here water vapor, because we have heating water vapor يعني بخار ميه. Next one, pollination of peas flowers of hybrid yellow seed with each other. هنا we depend on what? On the genetic or genetics problems. Here we have parents Y capital, Y small, because we have hybrid yellow with Y capital, Y small. So we have gametes Y capital, Y small, Y capital, Y small, and by distribution we have F1, as we see, Y capital, Y capital, Y capital, Y small, Y capital, Y small, then Y small, Y small, as we make distribution like that from the genetic problems as we studied before in unit 3 lesson 1. So we have 3 2 1 here as 3 yellow seed to 1 green seed, because we know green seeds in pea plant is a recessive trait, appears only if the gene is pure, is a recessive trait. As we see here, we have problem from the physics as unit 2 here. بيقول لي calculate the quantity of electricity passing in the conductor or in a conductor of resistance 1000 ohms for 30 minutes if the potential difference between ends is 2220 volts by mathematical rules. As we know, we should write firstly the givens in the problem. As we have R equal 1000 ohm, and time equal 30 minutes. We time 60 equal how many? 1800 seconds. And we have potential difference equal 220 volts. So we have to calculate what? Quantity, Q. We have unknown point here in the problem. So we should calculate what? Here we should calculate I. And we know from the mathematical triangle, from the magic triangle, we have I equal Q over T. So I equal what? Equal Q 1. يعني هنا احنا عندنا الاي اصلا؟ لا ما عندناش اي. طب اعمل ايه؟ انا عايز اجيب الكيو. اقول له طب ما انا عندي طريقه تانية. اجيب الاول مين؟ في البروبلم بتاعتي لازم اجيب الاي. يبقى هقول له هنا هوت الاي from the other triangle I equal أو R equal V over I. So I equal V over R, which means 220 over 1000 equal 0.22 watt ampere. Okay, so then last point in the problem, okay, we put here Q equal I times T equal what? I how many? 0.22 times T 1800 how many? By using calculator. يبقى هقول له هنا هوت 1800 times 0.22 equal how many? Equal 39.6 coulombs. And كده we answer the problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad, for being with us and for all this effort.
Thank you, Yasser, for your helpful in this spirit of helpful, and thanks a lot for all crew in this studio and this program.
Okay, all right, so that brings us to the end of this episode, dear students of the 3rd prep grade. I hope you've had a useful episode with us today, and don't forget to contact us through our Facebook group مدرسة على الهواء ابتدائي وإعدادي. إعادة الحلقة ريران بتكون في الساعة 6 صباحا. Thank you all for watching. Wishing you all the best of luck, and until we meet you again, it's goodbye.